Hey there. I want to talk about today really making your studio your own. Think of your studio in the same way as your personal home. There's a lot of people around that tell you how to decorate, what tools you need, especially as silversmiths, what kind of tools you need, what you should have, the right torch, the right hammer, the right anvil, the this, the that, the this. The truth of the matter is life needs to be simple. Think about simplifying your tools. It was so interesting because there was a span of time where I was in the commercial jewelry world. I was building lines for Banana Republic and Proving Connection and a lot of other larger commercial stores. And then I had a break. I had my kids, I had a little bit of a break. There was like 3 years in there. Then I started on the teaching end in my field. And in this short amount of time, a lot happened. The world sped up, and I realized the problem now with all of us is that we have so much information coming at us, and we have so much material that we have access to. We can buy anything, anywhere, right? So the problem sometimes is, and we have all these people advising us, and it's like we follow real ground. We love them. We hear different artists. Truthfully, it's like I talk about simplicity in tools and torches. I love having, as you guys know, and if you don't know, there's a nomadic toolkit that I have that's $300 that you can buy. Not from me. I'm not selling it. I just put it together because I travel a lot nomadically. Also, there was a time where, I was teaching in San Francisco and Paris and these big cities. And I ran into a number of artists that were like, I can't solder at home because my house is too small, It's people with these $2 million homes that are tiny, and they don't have a studio space there because it'd be expensive. And what I realized is this butane torch that I use in the tool list is a kitchen tabletop setup. How simple is that? So when I travel and I'm making a second home for myself out south, outside of the United States, you can find these butane cans at Walmart. Let me grab it. You can find these butane cans at Walmart. There's a number of different types of, they look like this on top. They have this little tab, and that makes a difference. And, for me, it's like when I started using these, oh my gosh, I can travel with these. We can, I have an acetylene torch here, but these, there's the whole philosophy of how to solder with the kitchen, on your kitchen tabletop without having to have a big studio. And also, I can use it as a nomadic tool set kit too. So it's like this brought a lot of freedom into my life, a lot of movement, because when you're a silversmith, you have a huge studio, you're acetylene. The nice thing, why is this built really well for silversmiths? It's like, this is butane gas, and I don't know if you guys know, but butane gas sinks. It sinks, so we're not breathing it in. When I work with my acetylene, I need really good air ventilation, because propane, acetylene, it all rises. So we're breathing it in. So if you see people wearing a mask or you're wearing a mask, good for you, because you have to have really good ventilation to be able to use this type. You can't bring it into your home. So it's simplifying these type of tools that really makes life easier, and makes your tool system easier. Another problem, the second problem, is when I talk about being overstimulated and having too much information around, too many tools around to make it perfect. Okay, so first of all, too many tools around to make your work perfect. Anyone can do that. It makes your work easier and easier and easier. And a lot of people have all these access to these tools, but so your work becomes more generic. You see work becoming more and more generic because it's the easy route. The less tools you have, the more creative you must become. So think about this. Simplifying your tool set, because there you're putting more handwork in. Jewelers at the beginning of time put in a lot more handwork. That puts beautiful energy into your work, and it also gives you the gift of working your pieces so you can make them your own. So literally you have to discover new ways to do things. You have to discover on your own. When your brain is working on solving problems, you're literally discovering new ways to come at your work, that no one else has. That's what you really want to look for first. If you want work, if you want your own body of work to be developed and for people to say, oh my gosh, look at this work, it's so different, you can't work with the same material that other people have. You have to work in the raw and build from scratch. And that's really what I have done through time to really, and also not eliminating materials that you think aren't silversmithing, creating my own tools, creating my own work, and doing those extra steps. Okay, number 2 is there's so much information around. We can easily pop onto Pinterest and be like, I want to build that, I want to build that, and I want to build that. We can look at another person's work and it looks similar enough to ourselves that we're thinking that we'd like to bring that into our world, So that's one of the hazards. So I always like to challenge people in my workshops and in my intentional metalsmithing online course, which I'm going to be offering again, you guys, intentional metalsmithing. I've had so many people ask me if I could bring this out to the surface again, and I've already had a couple signups, but I'm waiting. I'm actually doing a launch, and I want you to think about it. If you've been taking classes from a couple different teachers, if you feel like you're not on a successful streamlined path yet with your work, you need to sign up for intentional metalsmithing. It's friggin' amazing. I have a large group of people who went through my first course, which was maybe 3 years ago. And I have been able through the years see them develop strongly into their own body of work. Why? Because for one, I'm mentoring you 1 day a week all the way through intentional metalsmithing. It's inexpensive. It really gives you exactly the steps that you need to take to do your work authentically. So yes, when you're in intentional metalsmithing, look, if you're kind of a little bit lost with your work, you need a direction. Let's start there. I always talk about the 3 paths to being successful as an artist. One of them is knowing your material well, knowing your material well. And a lot of people just stop there. They just want to build their material and put it up on Instagram if they do, or just build their material. You owe it to yourself to get your work out there. You owe it to yourself. The world needs your art. The world needs your jewelry. The world needs your work. Like attracts like. So there's people who will find your work inspiring and find your work, artists are the heartbeat of the world, and the work they produce heals everybody. Number 2 is the 80% invisible, all of this, getting strong from the inside out, being really able to put up your authentic work out there in the world, how to manifest, how to think about marketing your business, how to think about, really what are your goals? What is your passion? Who are you? Do you like wholesale, retail, manufacturing? Start in a path that you love. You need to find something that you absolutely love, because now you've got a fire behind you. That's what passion is all about. This is where I have my community of artists, you guys. This is not my first rodeo. I've been doing this for so long. I love a community of artists who have open hearts, and that's what Unfolding is. It's actually an artist way, but it's a creativity program, and it is here for all that 80% of the invisible, to help you get to your core of, when you wake up in the morning, you're shedding and you're getting rid of energies that you picked up. We're artists. We pick up a lot. We're empaths. We pick up a lot of energy in the world. How do we siphon through it and get rid of the old stuff? So that's what Unfolding is all about. It's challenges in your writing. It's really letting go of things. So when you can stand up at your studio in front of your bench, and it's just you, and you have passion, and you have love. Think about that. And think about this question. What would you love to do in your life? What would be your best wish for yourself? with your work? Or, what would be your fantasy come true? Ask yourself that. And if it is something to do with the work that you're doing in your studio, to have a passion, to have love, to have all of this, well, you just need to work with a group of people, and that's me. I'm here. It's like, I have been a jeweler for 35 years and an artist. I was trained as an artist at the Art Institute of Chicago, graduated at Southern Illinois University. I've been a jeweler, all about adornment. I've traveled the world and I've studied talisman. I've studied with shaman. I've studied Reiki. I've actually study and I teach Kundalini yoga, singing bowls, the way music and vibration and energy works throughout the world, like going in and really setting your vibration using energy. Energy is real. It's not smoke and mirrors. I'm getting to an incredible place by following my own path. So I'd love to see you guys join Unfolding. If you're going to do anything with me, do Unfolding. It's $25 a month. And that is about the 80% invisible. The last step is step number 3 is the business side of your work. Whatever side you decide to start with first, for me, it's like either one of those can start first. But the business side is, what are you going to set up behind the scenes? It's like when you find out who you authentically are, now you're going to work with your, you don't have to do this alone. Now you're working with your marketing, and you're working with your accountants, and you're working with, if I want to go this direction with my business, how do I get there? It's being responsible for the work that you're building to get it to the right people. A lot of people who do jewelry or artwork, they don't realize how many steps are involved here. We're by ourselves, but here's our support system to be in here and be successful. Whatever your success means to you, this whole program of being in here really helps you to grow to be more and more yourself. And why do I want to help people this way? Because I have found a really powerful, strong group of artists are helpful to me, because we're not copying each other. When we go through the process of learning what we love doing with our work, and then going through this really behind the scenes energy work, well, you can't copy off of somebody else. You won't, because it feels so good to be authentically yourself. That's all you want to be. So anyway, that's why my interest is creating a community, a group of people who are strong-minded people who can add to the group. In a group, your energy just can build. Even in Unfolding, when I create a month ahead of time, I create a container, and when people come in, the energy's in there. I start a month ahead of time, creating the work, creating the container. When you come in and do this work in Unfolding, it's incredible. Because it really is, as Americans, as European-based people, we have to do movement to shake things off. Sometimes it's like just going out dancing, you know what I mean? It's interesting and fun, but it really helps you to grow as an artist, this taking care of who you are on the inside and being sensitive to who you are on the inside. So these 3 ways of building your business, building your business comes really last after you authentically know yourself inside and out. You really delve deeply into what type of work you love to do with your art or your craft, and you're doing authentically what you love. If something like your heart feels good when you're building something, that's where you want to follow the path of least resistance in your work as an artist. So I'm Susan Lennart. You guys know, and I do work with artists and jewelers, and I also show in my own studio different techniques here. But I just had some things to say here, so look out. If you guys want to, pop into my profile, and you guys can at least read about what's coming up. So Unfolding is my membership. It's $25 a month. That's Unfolding. That is like an artist way and a morning program and a powerful way for artists to stay in their creative mind. Staying in your creative mind means staying out of survival, like, I have to get this done, fear and survival. There's only 2 frame of minds to be in. One is fear and survival, and the other one is creativity. And we all have, every single person in the world can be in either one of those 2 states. But Creativity is comfort and feels so good. So let's be there all the time. I'm hoping you guys will join me there. Pop in and check it out. So, do I keep these plants here? I love plants in my studio, and this is my newest addition. This was from a friend of mine. She gifted me this, and we all know how good aloe vera is when you get burned or hurt or anything. And so I'm just gonna cut a little piece right here. You guys all know how to do this, but anyway, I was so grateful. Look at how big and gorgeous this piece is. I'll have to bring you closer in a little bit. So I just took a little bitty piece and I just cut this. You know, when I'm doing a lot of this work and I get so inside my head in such a creative space, I just bump into things, and I have a little sore on my knee that I'm gonna put this on. So you just cut one end of it, and then you just very gently, like, you know, slide your finger in here. As you guys know, oh my gosh, it's so good for you, so important. All these plants, they give me so much oxygen. You know, when you have your fires going or anything. See, I've got it nice and open and wide. These help. I put them on bug bites, anything. But I'm gonna put this on my knee. I skinned my knee the other day. Is that crazy? But these actually, you know, as we know why plants are so healthy, when we breathe, when we exhale, they love our exhales. We love their exhales. So we share all these inhales and exhales. This helps keep me fresh and clean and breathing in this beautiful prana, right? Crazy but true. I mean, we all know this, but I just wanted to remind you again for your studio, because sometimes I have it here. I move them around. I've got some really nice big plants with my high ceiling. So another thing is, it's like the plants, you could also use it, talking energy wise, you know, you could use plants to like get rid, like when I just showed you, you know, I showed a breathing technique of exiting through the ground all of your old, because the earth and plants and trees, they will take all of our old anything that we want to let go of. They'll take anything we want to let go of. So a lot of times I'll just let go of the old, hand it over to the plants, the trees. I have a nice tree in here too. And you know, they always accept our old, our exhales, all of that. And we breathe in all their fresh and their chlorophyll. So that's a good thing for us. A lot of times people see this painting behind my workbench. Here it is here. Oh my gosh, I love this painting. I bought this painting 12 years ago. I was teaching in Puerto Vallarta and I met this woman. Her name is Sheila Devine. She took me over. We spent a week together. I mean, I just loved her artwork. We were working in our studios together. And I bought this from her. We actually did a trade, in a partial trade. So you can see all the figuratives here. Man, I realized later this woman had some demons, you know what I mean? But I love the dark color. I liked this part of the painting right here. I didn't realize when she was charging me the price and giving me the price for a trade and for a partial payment, I thought I was just buying one side. I was in love with this lady with the yellow. I was in love with her. Oh my gosh. She was the one I was after. You can see above, they're all their hands. And the guy to the right really looks like he's lost, but I just really fell in love with the colors, the shapes. Look at that, just beautiful, beautiful. And then as she started wrapping them up, she joined the other photo with it, which I thought this other photo was a completely different story. Although it's the same three, you can see it's the same three and how they're transitioning into like another space, you know what I mean? But these three were, and you can see all their hands above their head, you know, just in their transformation with the diptychs. So anyway, this is one that I brought in from Puerto Vallarta. I flew home with it on the, I flew home with it on the plane. I just took it off and got it reframed when I get out here. This one is in the bright sun. You know, when you're looking for paintings for your studio, this one works well because it is in the bright sun and it hasn't faded yet. So it'll probably move on to my next, and here's the first beautiful three. I'll move on to my next place. You need these big paintings with high ceilings, right? want to talk a little bit about this little collection today. This is the piece that I started with, and it actually faces this way, and it's done with tourmaline. Is the stones, all three of the stones that are on the edges, which when it's facing the sun, oh my gosh, you guys can see it so well. The thing I love about tourmaline is that it's lighter in weight. So, when you could use it on earrings, it's lighter in weight. It actually comes in so many different colors. You can see the green, that little bit of green at the bottom, the orange, the pinks. These are all tourmaline, and some of them are these rainbow tourmaline that cover, well, it's the rainbow tourmaline. And you just get all these beautiful colors, and it looks amazing. And I was just working a lot on hollow forms. Why do I love hollow forms so much? Because hollow forms really are prayer boxes. And with prayer boxes, I love them. I'm working on this piece now. It's not even polished up. Let me get it so where you can see it. This one actually, this is a hollow form here. So I'm actually working on this pair of earrings right here. And for me, it's like when I wear earrings, I'm not that concerned about having exact colors. This one is a pink. These are all tourmaline, guys. Let me get my stone face the right way. There we go. I'm so addicted to tourmaline, as you guys. These are actually the heart center colors. And this is a peridot. And these are both the greens and the pinks are for the heart center. And you are not kidding when I say I use stones for their vibrations. I am telling you, I build talisman, and you may too. But when you are drawn to a color, you have to go with it. And I'll talk a little bit more about talisman later on too. But I also am really excited about these little simple leaf shapes that are flat, these type of things. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about them. And I put them together with the twisted wire because I'm feeling so much nature. Nature really is such a great force to use in your work with the gemstones. And then this is a hollow form too. I'm practicing my discipline today, which I love, which you're gonna see more and more of, are just tiny little bitty tiny. You don't even know how tiny these are. So I will hold it up on my finger using the discipline of these tiny little prayer boxes and hollow forms. I still have to put the bottoms on these. Oh no, the bottoms are on these. These are the hollow forms, and here's some that are open. Because I think I'm gonna do these as a pair of earrings. As much work as it takes, these are gonna be a pair of earrings. So I'll show you guys just how I'm soldering the hollow forms down. I think it'll be cool. But I wanna also work into doing these really long, which is a discipline. That anytime you work with a medium size, it will be easier for you. That's why a lot of times I show beginning students medium size, because when you go into these tiny and when you go into super long, they really get to be a challenge. So also I wanted you guys to see, I know I showed in one of the other film, and if you guys haven't been able to see it, you guys can. This was just some of these beautiful little, now it's gone, but don't worry. This is a slant here. My floor, I have a pretty easy time finding things, but I'm not gonna do it while I'm talking to you guys. But that actually is one of the forms I show, and I also use it as a bezel. Oh my gosh, it's like, I love using pieces like this as a bezel. So this piece is gonna be put together. And what I like to do was have, at the same spot, have tourmaline stones, have beautiful length. I put a little dot of color on one side. You don't need a dot of color on both. And I wanted to replicate doing, this one still has to be polished, but doing a hollow form. This is more of a square hollow form, so it matches the hollow form here. What I love about hollow forms, number 2, is that I can embed words inside of here, and I will show you guys how to do that today. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun using things like this. So tourmaline is light, it's beautiful, it comes in so many different colors. It's one of my favorite stones, and I just do have to add in here, I do have it on my website. I have such good prices, you guys, because I buy in such big bulk. So we all, because I never want to miss out, and I buy in big bulk because then, you know, I can kind of choose, and I know I can always sell pieces off. Still at a super good price. I have my tourmaline that is polished so beautiful at like $4 a carat. So anyway, this is some of my projects I'm working on today. These nice little organic shapes. I'm actually going to use this as a bezel for my tourmaline. I think it's going to be beautiful. It fits nicely. I just have to get some unusual prongs. These are non-traditional stone settings. It's going to sit right like this. And this piece that is kind of a little florally. I have to make two for earrings.